Hello Makeup Void, I'm Trin and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing another palette video. It's been a hot minute since I did one because palettes just aren't exciting to me. They're just not. There's one that's coming that does make me very excited, but it's not released yet. We don't have a release date for it yet. That's not what this video is about. This video is another fancy Cosmetica video with the collab with Makeup Just for Fun, aka Amanda, the Enchanted Autumn palette. Did I just buy this palette just because it's fancy Cosmetica? We will save that answer for the later end of this video. This is going to be 2 or 3 looks. I don't know how many looks I'm going to do. This is the first look, so this is the first thing that you're going to see. But I don't want to spoil anything. Let's go on ahead and put up my Instagram reel that I did with this palette. I already did swatches. Usually I will dive right into a palette before I do swatches to get a little bit of a blinding, not sure what I'm getting into when I do first impressions, but I already did it, so I'll show y'all. But here we go. I don't know how much this palette retails for because I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, it's fancy Cosmetica, it's relatively affordable. So I went ahead and purchased it. The mirror is beautiful. Look at my dirty brushes. But I don't care about the mirrors and palettes. They don't mean anything to me in the palette, but it's very pretty color story. It's very dark and grungy, so it's a perfect time of year to play with this palette. So we're going to do a few looks with it. I'll give you my review. I'm trying to hold my emotions for later in this video. I'm trying to hold them emotions. But I do want to say that you can, I think it was until supplies last, but you could purchase the palette with a necklace. So I got this cute little necklace. Amanda has this jewelry company that she has just for fun style, and so you could purchase the palette and get the necklace as a free gift with it. So that's what I did. Am I getting rid of that necklace? I should not have done that because I don't wear necklaces. But I also was curious to see what the necklace was gonna look like. Not gonna lie, I was very curious about that. So that's why I did it. But I don't wear necklaces because I get makeup all the way down here and the makeup will get on my necklace, and I'm just an earrings and rings person. I don't care about necklaces, but I was curious enough. So I hope you enjoy this video. Give it a like, subscribe to my channel. I am reading comments now. I have conquered my anxiety about reading comments, and some of y'all were savage in the computer vlog video. Some of y'all were really mean, but I enjoy the feedback. So let's go ahead and get rolling. Okay, let's begin. I know I already showed you the palette, but here it is just again, and you have a very murky color story. Very murky, very grungy, and what I like about this palette so far is that you can easily get 2 6 looks, just combine each matte and approaching shimmer in each of the columns and you're good to go. So I don't want to do 6 looks in this video and just keep it really boring, so I'm going to try to mix up the palette as much as I can. But I gotta be honest with y'all, I'm not feeling the most inspired by this palette. I'm not. First impressions, I just feel underwhelmed. So let's go on with this first shadow, which is called Foggy, which makes sense for the shade color. I have already done swatches of this palette. Usually I do a first look with the palette and then I do swatches because I sort of want to go in a little bit blind. But I got the palette even earlier than I anticipated. I thought, today is Friday, I thought it'd be delivered today, but then it got delivered yesterday, so I was like, cool, I get to play with this palette, not wearing dark green as much. Thank goodness. Wearing black today. So the first impressions by swatching the palette, this is completely fancy Cosmetica. The mattes are smooth. As you can see, I'm blending them out with no problem. It is a very nice, beginner-friendly, easy formula to use. And, surprise, surprise, one of y'all, ever so lovely, sent me some brushes. I'm not using all of them today. I have been using quite a few of them, and they're dirty. So, and I always use more brushes when I film tutorials, so I definitely need to clean some of these brushes because they're filthy. But for now, I'm going with a good old scratchy brush. Nice and scratchy, irritating my eyes, but I like the shape of it. So we got that laid down pretty quickly, and I'm gonna go into one of my new brushes, which, yay, the shade called Heron, and I believe that's a bird that's like a lighter color. And I'm going to stamp this, not scratchy at all brush, and I am going to do my outer wingy shade. That does not matter because I will fill it in with wing. Funny thing, my husband and I were talking a little bit last night, and he was trying to use makeup as an example of like copyright infringement, and I thought the whole thing was silly. Honestly, Nintendo is suing Palworld for copyright infringement over their, not copyright, but like over a patent in the game. And if you don't know what Palworld is, it's pretty much a knockoff Pokemon. But it's a small Japanese indie company that makes it. I believe the company name is Palworld, and Nintendo is just sinking its teeth into this tiny indie company, which sucks. But wrong pan. But my husband was raging about it last night as we watched a video about it, which I just thought the whole thing was funny. Not the funny situation, just the funny that he was getting so up in arms about it. But he was like, what if like you did a wing and like posted it on the internet, and like a brand came after you and was like, oh no, you can't do a wing, like that's copyright infringement. I was like, which could very well happen. Honestly, I could have somebody going after me. He's like, oh, you can't do wings. But I just thought the whole thing was silly. And I was like, yeah, that could happen. But I don't know where I was going with that. Pairing shadows that goes with the mask that we just used is a gold and a silver. And I don't necessarily agree with that. This is more of a bronze, let me say. I never like a gold bronze with a purple. I don't know why she just didn't go in with another purple. There is another purple in this palette, but I guess we're focusing on the top two rows for now. But let's use them together. Let's just go ahead and use it. I did not wet my brush. I went in dry. These shimmers are super smooth. There is not a duochrome. There is not a multi-chrome in this palette. I don't remember how much this palette cost. I was just like, I'm gonna buy it, so I don't have any details on that. But there are no multi-chromes. There are no duochromes in this palette, which at least give me a duochrome. Can I at least get a duochrome up in here? Come on. Like, is this such a silly thing to... So that first shadow was Luna. I'm going to go into the silver shadow, which is called Libra. Chunky. Actually, should I stop saying chunky? Because I have been reading your comments, and I realized that the solution to reading and responding to comments was having a keyboard that doesn't suck. Oh my goodness. For the entirety of my YouTube career, I have been editing on this old AF MacBook, and the keyboard was so sticky, and I could barely type on it. And so it's like, oh, I have this new computer, and thanks for the love, thanks for the snarky comments. I'm pretty sure a lot of people that watch this video do not give a shit about makeup, but if you are from that video, thank you. I don't know why that video got so many views. It was an awful vlog, but y'all know I got a new computer and I got a new keyboard, and the keyboard is amazing. And I was just like in a mood where it's just like, I just want to type. I just want to freaking use the keyboard. And as I was reading through comments, somebody was like, when you say chunky, don't you mean flaky? I was like, yes, that is what I mean. I do mean flaky. But I don't know. I think it also means chunky. I mean, a palette is chunky, flaky. Can they be used in the same way? You tell me. I think I'm going to continue saying chunky though, just because I like it. So, here's the eye look. I am underwhelmed. I am so underwhelmed. The formula is good. I'm not dogging the formula. The formula is great. The quality, I mean, it's Fantasy Cosmetica. This is my favorite brand of eyeshadows. So I bought this palette. I'm not dogging the formula. I'm not getting any weird patchiness. But I also thought, like, with my Ensley Rain videos, I was getting a lot of patchiness. I just kept saying, like, I don't think it's a palette, I don't think it's a palette. I think it's because I didn't bring my eyeshadow primer out far enough. So I made sure I got it out, like, really far today to make sure, like, that didn't happen. And maybe Ensley Rain just has patchy shadows. Maybe they do. But I also think I just didn't get enough eye primer across my lids. So, it's building up the mattes again a little bit. I didn't go in with more product. I went in more with Heron, not with Foggy. So I'm just blending this out a little bit, just getting like a nice smoother blend because I suck at blending. Okay, so this is the underwhelming eye look. I am underwhelmed, so maybe we can impress each other with the lower lash line. So I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and we'll be right back. I am back with the rest of my makeup done. Blush got out of control. A lot of y'all, whenever I do a brown lip, y'all just want to know what's my lip color. So because it's in a project pan, I use NYX Natural, and then also in a project pan is e.l.f. Glossy Lip Stain in the shade Cinnamon Dreams. I have been trying to use this up for the majority of this year, and it's a little patchy. The more I use it, the more patchy it gets. But it's fine. Let's finish off the under eyes. And originally I was thinking let's do a pop of green, and now I'm not feeling that. So let's just go back into Heron. Oh, I was going to do eyeliner real quick. Oh, fluff. So I'm just going to use the About Face eyeliner, the black one in the shade Into the Void real quick. Eyeliner's on. The reason why I had to stop and do eyeliner is because, especially with Into the Void, like the About Face ones, they do not stick to your waterline once you get eyeshadow on it. It's just, it's not going to show up, so I need a different eye. I need a different black eyeliner so badly. So let's go back to what we were doing and go into Heron so we can smudge it out a little bit. And I'm going to focus this on the outer corner. I feel like I should just stop filming for the outer corner and just tell y'all what I did, because it takes like 2 seconds and I just don't want to be like, I repeat the same things I did on top, but it's too late. We're doing it for this video. Gotta. Also, I lean so far down. Ooh, this is just such a good stopping point. That's nice. Is that literally all we're gonna do for the lower lash line? I feel like we need some sparkle. But we need to use something different. So what if we go into the purple for the lower lash line? This shade called Sagittarius. What if we do that? Because that's supposed to complement the red, but I didn't want to do the red on the lower lash line. So let's take Sagittarius, this very small brush. I'm going to dig a little bit into the pan and then tap it off, just so we get a little bit more pigmentation and a faster buildup. There is no inner corner highlight in this palette, at least for me, on my pale skin tone, but I don't really care because it's not every single day that I'm doing an inner corner highlight, and I can always reach into a highlighter, but I feel like with a smoky look like this, an inner corner highlight would just be a little bit too stark, and you cannot see the sparkle. Where'd the sparkle go? It just blended into Heron beautifully, but there is no sparkle on my lower lash line. Well, that's a bummer. We're gonna leave it. I didn't do mascara. I will do mascara for the intro. the intro of this video. We're not going to do it right now. You can't even see with the wing. So let me zoom out a little bit and we can talk about my first impressions. Alrighty, so what do I think first impressions of the Fancy Cosmetica Enchanted Autumn palette? I already forgot what this palette is called. It's good. Yeah. I like the look. I think it's very cute, grungy, pretty, smoky, but y'all, I need to do some more looks with this palette. I definitely need to do some more looks because this is pretty, but this palette does not scream something that's going to make me excited to reach for again and again. I bought this palette for science. I bought it to see, okay, can Fancy Cosmetica stick with their guns with their formula for a collab palette? Because there's always this chance with collabs that the formula will go down and lower the quality in order to like pay the creator so it's not as expensive, and I don't think they did that first impressions wise. I'm just not enamored with it. So I guess let's go on to the next look and hope, like, I don't dislike this look. I don't dislike it. I think it's a very pretty look. I just not am excited about it. So let's move on to the next look and hopefully I'm a lot more excited. Let's go ahead and get into this next look. So yesterday's look was really dark and grungy, and I feel like that's the only thing you can do with this palette, but I want to try to bring in some freshness. So we're going to go into the mustard shade, which is called Willow Oak, which is a mustard yellow, but I want to, wow, that is dark. Alright, we're not doing light and fresh. This is dark and grungy. Okay, it's not bad. Let's see where I want to put this. That is super dark and grungy. I'm glad I'm using a fluffy brush to do this. I mean, it's pretty. I think I said that like 80 times in the first clip that you saw, but like, you see where I initially laid the shadow? It is so dark and pigmented, but it's blending out quite nicely, but it's just that initial wear down. I wish I had a lot more smaller fluffy brushes. I feel like that's just something I need for my eye shape, but that's not what I have. I think, thank you Snapchat. Thank you Snapchat for giving me notifications that I don't want. Let's turn these notifications down. Okay, back to the video. But yeah, I have been looking at getting smaller eye brushes. I have been looking at picking up cinch brushes from Angelica because those eye brushes just are really small and I feel like they would be good for my eye shape. But y'all, if you've tried the cinch brushes, please let me know because I wonder about the true quality. Like, all the reviews I've seen of those brushes have been from Angelica's friends, so I don't have a non-biased review source on whether or not those brushes are good, but maybe that non-biased review source should be me. Maybe. I have to look at my budget and see if I can afford them because I'm pretty much like in the mood of all or nothing for her brushes. It's like I either want to get all of them or none of them. So that is where I'm torn. So I'm going to check actually what my budget is looking like today because I might pick up some more brushes, and I wonder if I'd get them in time for my trip because I am leaving a week from today, so that'd be good. Alright, we got this blended out. It's nice, it is dark, it is grungy. I don't know if I like that, but it's a nice color. It's nice. I have a light fresh gray shirt. I'm going with darky colors. So let's just stick with the same brush today, fluff it, and let's go into the dark green, which is called Long Leaf Pine. Tap off my brush. I'm going to stamp this in the outer corner. Let's see if we get any patchiness. I don't know how well I got my eyeshadow primer in my outer corner, so we will have to see. let me know if y'all want to know what's on my face for every look. I generally do the same thing, especially because I'm project panning and I don't really change things up. Like, I'll change up like the bronzer, or my dominant changes are, do I go in with a bronzer? Do I go in with a contour for everything? Do I need something cooler? Do I need something warmer? Do I need a little bit of a rosiness to complement the eye look? So, but largely they are project panning. I don't do that. I don't list the products that I use on my face because I don't have affiliate links, and because I don't have affiliate links, it's not that I don't do it because I don't want to like not make money off of it, but otherwise like affiliate links makes the links like super tiny, whereas because I don't have affiliate links, if I'm just copy and pasting the link, then it's super long and super not attractive. So that's the big reason why I don't list any things down below. It's just because I don't want the URL to be like the genuine huge long thing, because that just takes up space and it's not, I don't believe it's attractive to see in description boxes. I don't put anything in my description boxes. I don't really see the point of them. I don't read description boxes unless like I am very curious about something, or actually I don't check description boxes. This is so dark and grungy and I don't like it today. I didn't want that today. If I was just doing my makeup for the sake of doing makeup today, I would have gone in with something much lighter. So maybe I should have saved this for a day where, dang it, I use the same brush. So I can't blend out the mustard shade. Let's just go back into it. Let's try to make this work, y'all. The green is coming across a little bit patchy, and my face feels like it's ultra dry today. But that's also because I took a shower, got the wet hair, took a shower, washed my hair, and my skin is always super dry after a shower. So I wonder if it's just that, but I'm not liking this. It's not what the fluff is that? What the fluff is that? Use the side of my blending brush. Alright, what do we want to do on the lids? Do we want to go in with the gold? Do we want to go in with, I think I know what we're going to do. We're going to do fingers. So we're going to start with the shade Harvest Moon, which is this gold. And the shimmers are so smooth. Every shade in this palette, when you swatch it on your fingers, is so incredibly smooth. The only shadow with a little bit of chunk is the silver, which again is called Libra. That has a little bit of chunk, a little bit of a flakiness to it. But the rest of these shadows are very impeccably smooth. I'm going to bring it up a little bit higher per what I like to do. And honestly, I'm a little surprised about how grungy this palette is when I'm thinking about Amanda, because she does do a lot more fresher, lighter looks. She does a little bit of grunge. I mean, her Odin's Eye collab has some grunge to it, but overall she does a lighter, fresher look. So I was a little bit like Let's go into the dark green. Oh, this, what would you call this color? Yeah, it's like a dark green. There's another green in this palette. This is the shade called Scorpio. It's kind of a gray. Looks a little green in the pan, but it's coming across as gray. I'm just putting it on the outer corner, kind of to bridge. It's completely covering up the green. Let's be real, it's completely covering up the green. But I just want a way to like merge the gold and the green together. Can you tell anything? Can you tell anything? I really wish I used more than one brush today. Mistakes were made. gonna go back into the mustard and blend out the edges. Even though I'm gonna clean up the sides with my concealer later. But okay, here's the eye look. I will maybe come back for the lower lash line. I think the only thing I'm going to do on the lower lash line is black eyeliner and the shimmery green, which is called Emerald. I think that's the plan for the lower lash line. If I decide to do anything more, I will hop back on camera for that. We might use the mauve shade called Dusk. We might use that. That way we've used every shade besides one in this palette. And we want to... it's too late. It's too late. It's too late. We're not going to no pan left behind this, and I'm not doing a third look with this palette. So I'm just going to do the rest of my makeup, and we'll be right back. I'm back. I did the rest of my makeup and the lower lash line because I just didn't want to film it. I just didn't want to. So let's talk about what I did do on my lower lash line, which you can't really tell. I went in with the green shade Long Leaf of Pine again, and then I went into the shimmery green, which is called Emerald, and I really wish I put Emerald all over my lid because it is my favorite shadow in this entire palette because it is so sparkly. It adds a nice pop to my crease, or to my lower lash line. What are words? I did use an inner corner highlight today. I just felt like I needed that brightness, so I went in with Rare Beauty Enlightened. Their highlighter Enlightened was the shade, so I went in with that for a pop of inner corner. But in my lips, if you're curious, is Lethal Axiom. I had to use it for deco panning, and I felt like a brown lip. This palette screams a brown lip, okay? Like, I said what I said. This palette definitely needs a brown lip if you're gonna do grungy looks with it. So now I'm not going to do another look because I want this video to go out on Tuesday and it's Saturday and I don't have time to edit during the work week. So what are thoughts? It's a good palette, and I say that in every video. It's a good palette. If I was ranking, so I literally just did a ranking of all my Fancy Cosmetica palettes, and if I was to include this palette in the ranking, I would put it at the very bottom. I'm just saying. It has nothing to do with the formula. I love Fancy Cosmetica formula. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with this color story. This color story to me is not... it's not losing my cat on my lap, dude. Okay. It has nothing to do with the formula. The formula here is beautiful. Actually, I wish there was a duochrome. I wish there was a multichrome. I wish their shadows was a little bit flakier. I wish there was just something more to this palette. It is missing something. It is missing an inner corner highlight. It is missing a one and done all over the lid shadow for me. Now, this palette is very easy to use. You literally take duos right up and down and you have 6 beautiful looks. I easily could have done a 6 look, 1 palette video just showing those 2 shadows over and over again. This is very easy palette to create looks with, but I think as a whole, it gets really murky, it gets really dark, really fast. I don't hate this eye look. Between the two, I like this eye look better, but I think it's because I have that pop of green on the lower lash line. But it's just, there's nothing bright, there's nothing fresh about this palette. It is just dark and grungy, and yes, that is a mood, yes, that is a vibe, yes, that is perfect for this time of year, and I don't follow the seasons when it comes to eyeshadows. I do what I want, but I'm not going to reach for this palette in the spring. I'm not going to reach for this palette in the summer. I'm probably not going to reach for this palette again unless it's in No Pan Left Behind. Probably not. Now, I think I say this in every palette review video. At the end of the year, when I do my eyeshadow palette rankings, what are words? I do one last look, which each of the palettes I've tried this year, I think I'm up to like 20 palettes. Maybe no, I'm not up to 20. I think I'm up to like 15 palettes, so which is still going to be a pain in the butt to edit, but at the end of the year, I do one last look with each of the palettes that I've tried to just sort of like get one last impression. Okay, especially palettes that I bought very early in the year, like the DD Signature palette I bought in January. Like, let's revisit that palette, let's get some more memories, let's remember it. So I will be using this palette again later this year for that video, but I'm not reaching for this palette. I'm not. I think Fantasy Cosmetica should do way better. The packaging is absolutely stunning. I will say that. The packaging is stunning. The necklace is cute. But overall, I'm not reaching for that palette again. And I wasted my money. But I did this for science. I completely did this for science. So, if the palette wasn't Fantasy Cosmetica, I would have skipped on it. No questions asked. I would not have even given it a second look. But because it is that brand, I feel like I had to try it. And I did it for myself. I did this for myself. And I also did it for a YouTuber friend. One of y'all. I also did it for one of y'all. But I just don't like the palette. I just don't. I'm very underwhelmed. I'm not enamored by it. I don't think it's a bad palette, but I don't think it's a good one either. If that color story is screaming your name, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. As a diehard Fantasy Cosmetica fan, I am disappointed in the palette. So it's a pass for me. So I will just leave it there. But I want to thank y'all for watching today's video. As always, give it a like, subscribe, have joy, and bye!